in every cry of every man, in every infant's cry of fear, in every voice, in every ban, the mind-forged manacles I hear. William Blake, London, from Songs of Innocence and of Experience. We'll be coming back to those mind-forged manacles at the end. Welcome to video 45. You are the conspiracy, part 2 of 2, 7 proofs of why we are not ruled by malevolence. And the first 3 were in the video just gone. You need to see part 1 of this first, which is video 44, just before this one. I've put a link to part 1 on the screen. If you haven't seen it, stop wasting your time watching this and click the link. Proof 4. Oh, this is a bit obtuse, but good cannot exist without bad. Now, it's important to see my video 28, why heaven would be hell, after this one. Good has no meaning on its own. It's a comparative or relative value and needs something to be compared to. And we need something to overcome. It's just how we were designed. We need the wave, the up and the down. The up being good, of course. But if there was only good, it becomes the baseline, the norm, and loses any comparative value. Now, it's very difficult to articulate this idea, or for me at least. This may be an extreme example, but the deer thinks the lion is evil as it's being eaten alive. But the lion can't afford to think that. The Abrahamic religions say the whole point is for us to turn from evil to good. Christianity says we were born in sin, terrible design. The Eastern religions are more encompassing, saying the point is to improve in many areas. But more in a future video called The Second Biggest Hoax of the Realm. I'll explain that phrase in a minute. Truthers normally gain a spiritual belief from belief in evil. It's a mistaken belief, but it does lead immediately to a belief in creationism. Basically, they think, how can government be so evil? And this hoax lie realm has to be bigger than the material world, which is true. So they believe in a Satan or a negative power, which is false. But anyway, then there also has to be a creator or positive power. So ironically, they are led to creationism from atheism or agnosticism through the belief in evil. But then this goes for all people, because we all, like a roadmap, we want to celebrate our new belief with other believers, and many get sucked into organised religion. And if it's a conspiratard like us here in this excuse me, tiny corner of the realm, we get sucked into Christianity because half the shill movement are pretend Christians, and the other half also uses Christian fear porn memes. Well, first let's deal with the positive of organised man-made religion, even though it's, overall, a bunch of nonsense and doesn't represent the hidden world, which we don't know much about, but we know it can't be anything like the description in organised religions. But it creates friendships and love, and this is actually due to the structure, the structure to join, the group, the togetherness, and it's in spite of Bible philosophy, not because of it. Well, because of selected parts. But this friendship and companion is due to the power of human spirit rather than any book. I was a Christian for 2 years, or one to 2 years, and most Christians, I discovered, know virtually nothing about the Bible, and they're certainly not going to gain a knowledge in church. They're going to get a flowery veneer. Now I'm going to talk about the dark side, and you're going to think, hang on, this is supposed to be about there's no malevolence, and yeah, there isn't at the top, there isn't ultimately. So what's he on about? Well, the real God, whatever it or they are, created all you see now and everything else, and it created the Bible as the first major hoax until the second biggest hoax of the realm. No, sorry, until evolution theory came along, and that is now the biggest hoax of this realm, and the Bible is second. This is because we are fooled about how we got here, and this hoax-like realm is just a joke that we are to discover and explore, because we're actually designed with a brain. We're not useless automatons, slaves, as described in Brave New World. Hoaxes exist, but no one really gets hurt, despite what the particular shills you worship tell you. You could say it's dark humour, fair enough. You could say that's reason to complain, yeah, fair enough. But have you noticed it is our humour? We are totally part of it. But in this realm we have no memory of that. Man-made religion is the bedrock psyop. It's which all others can be built. Psyop, psychological operation. This realm is to cause low-level trauma. For what reason we don't really know, do we? But well, one reason is a laugh when you see it a bit more clearly. Low-level trauma for everybody from the fake nuclear weapons, and low-level trauma especially for the truthers from the shill movement. So man-made religion is there to introduce the false concepts of organized evil, demons, horror, curses from a vindictive God, none of which exist. God slaughters us all in Revelation, except for 144,000 male Jewish virgins. Now, Revelation is the last book of the Bible, in the Jesus part of the Bible, and far from the Jewish part. But this is bad for business, for the church business, and the church never preaches it and never reads from Revelation, formerly Revelations, but that's a bit of Mandela for you. And they invented rapture, which allows all the good people to escape before the horrors go down. But that's not how the Bible describes it. And man-made religion and its themes and memes also affects atheists totally, because it affects all society. I mean, this organized evil business. Well, I'm coming up to that, yes, in the next proof. And religion is not to get us to love one another, because we do that naturally. It's totally inherent for us. We do it naturally without having to be told to do it. Proof 5. Rebelling against God. The original psyop concept for the stupid organized evil mean can only possibly be an astoundingly stupid fairy tale. But I was talking to a non-player character the other day who was telling me how evil the government is, and so it's obviously spread, and that they're trying to do this and that, and he doesn't believe in Illuminati bullshit, but he was just talking about the standard national government. So, okay, according to the Judeo-Christian book of children's horror tales, Lucifer, later to be called Satan, was the most beautiful and resourceful angel. Everybody loved him. But he was jealous of God, who was even better than he. So he opposed God. He opposed the almighty force, the creator of all. And a third of the angels agreed with him and joined him. Now this is a total mockery, because nobody or no entity can be that stupid. Especially not an archangel, if there was such a thing, which there isn't. Satan is an unbelievable character in an unbelievable collection of horror stories. To those of you who are man-made religious, I mean, not just believing in intelligent design, yes, there is a creative force, but it can't be anything like the vindictive psychopaths in the holy books of man-made religions. Ironically, the portrayal of God in religious books is blasphemous. But I'm being ironic because blasphemy is a religious psyop, totally religious concept. The real intelligent design entity doesn't care. It's far above blasphemy or worrying about blasphemy. The real he, she, it or them. Now this same rebellion is accredited to our pretend material rulers. I mean the shill meme of the Illuminati or whatever working against God. Now imagine the Illuminati sitting around their big table with the top guy at the top of the table, and obviously a pyramid with a one eye, a little furniture pyramid with in the middle of the table. And he says, we have secretly taken over the world, now we can concentrate on opposing God. Now if I was at that table, I'd put up my hand and say, I worked very hard to help us get here, I'm proud of what we've done, but as to opposing the total power of the universe, I think I'll take a rain check. Now if they're anything like Spectre from James Bond, they'd get rid of me at that point. So it might be better if instead I just said, is it wise to oppose the almighty creator, the ultimate power? Maybe we should call out to it and try and work with it instead. Now Flat Earth shills say the secret world government in their rebellion against God lie about the shape of the earth to hide God. But the real God, whatever it is, wouldn't create such an ugly, boring universe and in 6 days and then need to rest on the 7th day. Getting knackered after 6 days sounds very human-like. Big Bang Theory has a more realistic God, although there's no such thing because we have no terms, no structure. The Big Bang God, let there be light, and there was light, and it was infinite light and infinite material. But anyway, this is the main point, and that's that the real God, whatever it is, hides itself without any help from man, without any help from a pretend Illuminati wanting to hide the world is flat, because it's not flat and there's no Illuminati. But our origins are hidden from us, that just like the creators. That is the nature of this realm. But we are designed with our brains and hearts to play the game of finding it and realize that it's really hidden in plain sight all along, apart from things like Mandela, see that video. And when you accept that we know almost nothing about it, but it has to exist, then we, or that person with that belief, is far closer to it than the religious Christians or Muslims, the religious masses are. We know it created absolute beauty and awe and wonder on the planet and outside the planet, which we can discover with telescopes. Flat Earth may be an exciting cult, but you've been conned. Proof 6. There is zero evidence for all the evil, all the chaos. The chaos exists in the mind of the conspiratard, but not outside it. Now I'm going to do a whole video on this, so I won't talk much about this proof 6 here, because about good evidence or non-existent evidence, because there's so many people who can't understand the difference, and it's really quite simple. It just has to be broken down, gone through step by step. But people relay to me what their favourite shill has just brainwashed them with, always without any evidence. Recently it's about all the people being murdered from the vax. Now I've got two people I chat with on WhatsApp and they don't know each other and they're intelligent. Now I don't take the vax, so don't get angry with me when I say there's no proof. Of course people are not getting murdered from it. And anyway, why get angry from a disagreement over this bullshit pantomime? It's there to entertain us. No, actually, it's there to give us some trauma, but you don't have to. You can win the game. Now, this happens to me talking to people all the time, and the particular shill meme changes. Maybe I only get the idiots. And so they tell me, oh no, it's not just the shills that say this about the facts. The BBC and Fox have admitted it too. But that's not evidence. That's just a large psyop. And they say there was this poor woman interviewed on TV about how her children are victims of the vax. Well, she's not a victim, she's an actress. Now, apart from that, and in low numbers, there is well, we don't know how low the number, there is a nocebo effect, which is ultimately a material effect, and see my video 21 on that. Now, it's like Pizzagate. If something's been widely discussed in both the shill movement and the mainstream, you can be more sure it's a lie, a hoax, a psyop. And I'm going to explain this more in video 6. Yeah, the video about evidence, not video 6. Because people just don't seem to understand it. Now, the system does pump the airwaves and the internet with stupid ideologies and ideas, but it's always our choice what we adopt and what we reject. Proof 7, you are the conspiracy. You are the one in charge, because the only harm exists in your imagination. That's the place where there's proof for its existence and nowhere else. But your mind is a very powerful, all-consuming place. You control everything about yourself, your beliefs, and also your life. And if you've been brainwashed into thinking we're all slaves, then you are a slave. Because it's slavery of the mind. So slavery exists, not from the Rothschilds, from your shill. And all you have to do is realize you're not a slave, and then bingo, you're not a slave anymore. Because it's only slavery of the mind. Now, at the start, I quoted William Blake talking of mind-forged manacles. And they are. And if they're forged by the mind, then you made them and you can dissolve them. You could leave this crazy conspiracy world and nothing will happen to you due to your lack of knowledge. You know this deep down. You won't be poisoned or irradiated or targeted. People who lack critical thinking should really take up another hobby, but of course they don't know it, do they? Now, for most of you, unfortunately, your head is filled with bullshit. So coming back to these poor victims of vax, or because there have been interviews I've seen over the years of victims of Epstein and Pizzagate and MK Ultra. Well, they were all actors. Actors in a movie we were shown, except we weren't told it was a movie. But there certainly are victims. Do you know who they are? Well, they're you, if you stupidly believe the fear porn. Because actually believing the fear porn is traumatic. You think you need to keep up with your favourite shills to know what the so-called evil ones are doing, what they have planned for us. But they're just bullshitting you. You know less after listening to them. And if you suffer from trauma, anger, annoyance or depression over this partial awakening you've had, well, that means you can't really tell reality from psyop, so just take up painting. I'm serious. And if some influencer, let's call them, is trying to spread trauma, anger, annoyance or depression, then it's an obvious shill, or very occasionally a useful idiot. But the useful idiots videos are not well made and they don't have any viewers. Use it as a way to spot a shill. It's just part of the game. Remember, you are responsible, and only you, for your beliefs. You have all the power. You can enjoy it if you realise that the gods or the matrix controllers, to use a current metaphor, whatever they are clowning about rather than being demons, and they're putting on a clown show for us. Play the game to win, not to suffer, because it is the biggest show in town, and you can control your feelings, and you can work on losing your stupid belief structures, and thus making your beliefs come closer to reality. And closer to realizing that whatever created this place and whoever they've put to run this place, if there's a difference between the two, I mean, they certainly look very human, the people who run this place, they are human, but I think they're a bit more spiritually powerful. And if there's a difference between these leader people and our own usual state outside this realm, it has to be ultimately benign. Thanks for watching.